My dear friend, perhaps at least once in our lives, each of us has sat quietly and asked, where does my happiness truly come from? Am I really living for myself or merely existing because of others? The more years I live, the more I realize a simple yet painful truth. Happiness does not come from how many people love you, or from recognition, or from praise. Happiness is an inner state. It is born from freedom, self-reliance, and peace within. If you cannot find it inside yourself, then no matter how many arms the world opens to you, you will still feel empty. I once met a woman in her 50s. She said, all my life I lived for my husband and my children. But then my children grew up, my husband became busy, and suddenly I felt I had nothing left. Have you ever felt the same? This is the reality for so many of us. When the world turns its back, we suddenly realize we have nothing to hold on to. Yet it is in those lonely, silent moments that we are given the greatest opportunity to grow. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is a lesson, a teacher that shows us how to be resilient, how to listen to the quiet voice within, how to discover an unshakable peace inside. Maybe you've wished for a hand to rescue you, someone to understand you, someone to pull you out of the dark. I used to feel that way too, and I've heard countless sighs from people longing for the same. But the truth, though harsh, is this. No one can save you except yourself. Only when you dare to face the darkness, to walk with your own feet, will you find the light. I once met a young man who lived his life in blame, blaming his parents, his circumstances, his fate. But the more he blamed, the weaker he became. Only when he learned to accept what could not be changed did he finally feel free. Resisting fate only deepens our suffering. Acceptance lifts the weight off our shoulders. And the next step is forgiveness of others and, most importantly, of ourselves. Have you ever blamed yourself too much for wrong decisions, for lost opportunities? But forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means giving yourself permission to keep living. When you forgive, you release your heart from invisible chains. You begin to see the value of each present moment. Instead of clinging to the past or fearing the future, you learn to cherish this breath, this moment. I once heard an old man say, I searched everywhere for happiness and finally realized happiness is when I sit on my porch, sip hot tea, and feel grateful for another day of life. Gratitude turns what you already have into enough. It transforms ordinary things into happiness. Living this way, you realize that not needing anyone is not selfishness. It is self-love, self-healing, self-completion. When you are whole inside, you no longer fear loss. You no longer tremble at change. You are independent, financially, emotionally, spiritually. And from that independence comes true freedom. A friend once laughed and told me, I used to cry out of fear of being abandoned. But when I learned to stand alone, I discovered that without needing anyone, I already had everything. In the end, life reminds us of three foundations: self-reliance, self-respect, and self-love. When you live by these three, you find peace. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to chase approval. You are enough, and from that fullness, you shine. This journey is not easy. It asks you to face loneliness, loss, silence. I once spoke with a man in his 60s. After his wife passed away, his house felt so empty that even the sound of the wind brought him to tears. At first, he tried everything to fill the void, going out, meeting friends, leaving the TV on all day. Nothing worked. Only when he sat down with the silence, accepted it, and listened to it, did he begin to grow strong again. He told me, I realized loneliness did not kill me. It taught me how to stand tall, how to love myself more. Loneliness and silence are not enemies. They are teachers. They give us the chance to look inward instead of constantly running outward. And yes, on this journey, you may still long for someone to hold your hand, to rescue you. But the truth is, the only one who can save you is you. I've met many people who blame fate, parents, or others. But the moment they stopped blaming and said, I am responsible for my life, that was the moment real transformation began. A young man once said to me, I'm tired of living in others' expectations. I want them to care, to understand. But the more I expect, the more I hurt. And I replied, the higher the expectation, the deeper the disappointment. Letting go of expectations is not cruelty. It is freedom. And when you stop forcing others to live by your script, your heart finally feels light. Inner strength is the foundation of everything. With self-mastery, you no longer fear who leaves. You know your happiness doesn't depend on anyone's presence. And from that inner peace, you attract